So we had a few questions for you, sir. But before that, I'd like to say that we really enjoyed your talk a lot. And, honestly, when you say that she's the brown girl superhero that the world needs right now, I feel that that is one sort of a representation that, women in India really needed, like to have a brown superhero. And to see that really makes us very happy and proud and makes us feel represented. So would really like to thank you for the initiative that you've taken.
Thank you very much.
Sure. Um, so the first question that I'd like to ask you is that Priya Shakti is the first India's first augmented reality comic book. So how did incorporating technology like help you better with presenting the book? Like since you said 2014, we weren't there yet. So how did the transition?
Yeah, I mean, in 2014, Apple didn't even have augmented reality, and when I was looking at the technology, I said, is there a way that I can embed a lot of the interviews I did with survivors, and especially many of the documentary elements, into the comic book? Because that was the research and sort of the impetus for this whole project. And I looked at comics and I looked at the technology. The beauty of AR is it turns a comic book into a pop-up book. And it worked beautifully. There was like a beautiful synergy where people would read the comic book and then at the very end go back and with their app experience all this stuff that's embedded into the comic, the stories, the interviews, the engagement, and everything else. So it was like a beautiful synergy of everything. It's a perfect medium for comics.
We also wanted to know that what are your plans ahead? Where do you see the next issue or the next thing that Priya would be probably saving? Like how would she save the world? Like what is the next thing?
Sure. Well, I think that, I mean, actually, you've answered the question right there. The next is on focusing on climate change, and especially from a feminist, a female point of view, which is what I think would be very interesting and unique. I mean, we're hoping to really develop a big, broad story, and how climate change is affecting, especially women in India and other parts of the world, and cross-cultural too, because we want to focus also on Pakistan, India, other countries in Southeast Asia. I mean, climate change is something that really doesn't respect borders in any way. It's just like the pandemic. It doesn't respect borders. It was something that we have to tackle as a larger community.